Hello, BookTube. I've got a fun new discussion, video response to a discussion, whatever it is. This is the invisible side of reading. This was started by Mike at Bibliophile Bookscape. You know who he is. I don't need to go through the preamble of just telling you about Mike. But let's start this. So there's five little topics and all that, and I'm going to slowly make my way through them. So the first topic is browsing books. When it comes to walking through bookstores, looking through your shelves, scrolling Goodreads and StoryGraph, and watching BookTube and all that. What do you do, Andrew? Well, when it comes to browsing books, I don't know what I do really. I pretty much just go for my shelves and I think, what do I have? What don't I have? I get a lot of stuff from BookTube too, especially when it comes to newer releases and more contemporary stuff. When it comes to classics and all that stuff, I pretty much just go by authors and what I like, what I don't, and all that. I like a good walk through a second hand bookstore, but even going to a retail bookstore and just seeing what's new, what's around. The last time I went into a retail bookstore, I was shocked, and I was really shocked because went to the romance section and I realized I'd read the majority of the new releases out, and it kind of threw me seeing all of them, physically, and surrounded by them. I was like, oh my god, I've read that Elsie Silver book, and all that Nora and the Danielles, and the Alleys, and I've read all that. So, that definitely was a bit of vertigo for me. But when it comes to browsing books, I browse everywhere, to be honest, and I don't have a favorite, to be honest. Number two, rearranging bookshelves. This is a very sensitive topic to me right now. But when it comes to how I organize my books, it's very chaotic. It is not consistent, at all. So we'll start with the classics, because why not? And they are arranged. And for me, classics are anything that Penguin does, to be honest. So I think Homer, or for me, the Mesopotamian stories, all the way until maybe look at my shelves. John Steinbeck, because that's some of the Penguin moderns I have. All of that through the Renaissance, through the Middle Ages, through the Victorians, through the Edwardians, and all that are all arranged chronologically. They're split obviously into different shelves, but they're at least attempted chronological, so I can see time pass by, and especially once you get to the era of novels. And you see authors who have long careers, and then you kind of see some that kind of had, a couple books and died, or had the one book then died. But obviously that's changed because I only keep what I like, and there's definitely some biases, obviously on my shelves, let alone mostly the 1800 shelves, because that is an absolute garbage tip right now when it comes to its organized. I need to go through it at some point. But yeah, so classics are chronological. I randomly just pulled all my classics off this shelf and made it my Australian shelf. And that's pretty much done by chronological. I don't know why I'm in such a chronological mood, because it's such a pain to figure out. But once you do, it looks really neat. And that's got history, and fiction, and they're all combined together with biographies and all that. But down below, I have my Prime Minister books, because why not? Chuck everything on that shelf, and then I've got contemporary fiction right here, and back here is 20th century author biographies. Obviously, Graham Greene and Elman's James Joyce, which is one of the greatest books ever. Hermione Lee's Edith Wharton, Agatha Christie's autobiography. I randomly got Flannery O'Connor right there. And then, I don't know, I've got the big romance rotating shelf, which you've seen. And it's just an absolute tip right now. I have old 70s laminated table, which I've called No Man's Land, because I've just dumped everything that can't fit on the main shelves there, and it's an absolute, it's brutal, and I'll go through it. It'll take a couple minutes, but I kind of like the chaos of it, to be honest. So I think I'll just leave it like that. It's a lot. So yes, when it comes to organizing, I guess I do genre as well because I like them all split, but then sometimes I like them combined. It's a weird process. I should really be chaotic and do like the Dewey Decimal System or something like that. That'd be so fun. Yeah, but I don't get how people organize books by size. It's like they're all matching. I think that's so boring. Or like by colors. Like no one does the rainbow shelf anymore. I've just realized that. I'm like, when was the last time I've ever seen someone do a rainbow shelf? Because they were so big when I was a teen, but I feel like they're gone. I never could do it because there's someone that mostly read classics. It was mostly like black and whites. Like, it wasn't even colors at that point. It was mostly just, oh, I forget what the other words that isn't. A shade, that's it. It was mostly shades than actual big rainbow colors. I probably could do that now, but and I probably should at some point. That'd be so tedious, but it'd be fun. It'd be so obnoxious to have in the background, but I would kind of like it. So yes, I don't even know how my shelves are arranged at this point. It's a lot, but in saying that, I probably have less books now than I've ever had because I'm such a frequent unholer. Especially now that I have a Kindle, to be honest. So I need to come back to rearranging. I need to just have an afternoon and just sit down, go through everything. Is this? Am I going to think about this book again? And it can go. I don't know, but so yeah, that's that one. Number three, researching books. Looking up authors and reviews and BookTube. Looking at the book's literary history, editions and translations, all that type of stuff. And when it comes to the time I spend researching compared to reading, I probably spend obviously more time reading, but there's some books where I'm like, I don't need to research it because I just know it already. Really. Maybe if it's like a classic and I want a bit of context, I'll obviously do the introduction. Again, who cares about spoilers? But no, I definitely spend more time reading than I do researching. But does the research depend on your enjoyment of the books? Maybe, yeah, may research a bit more, or it may become more of an obsession to me than if I don't really like the book as much. But it depends on what it is, of course. So, yeah, but I definitely spend more time reading than I do researching. Then the fourth one is thinking about books. When reading oh my god, when reading ends, the thinking continues. I couldn't read my writing for a second. When you reflect on the themes, compare books and the characters and how books connect to your own life and all that stuff. Have you ever spent more time thinking about a book than reading it? And what books have stayed in your mind the longest? And that is a great question because I am, I think you spend more time thinking about a book when you read it because what a book can take. I don't want to give away my reading speed, but for me, like a Jackie Collins book is like depending on the size, obviously, like 2 hours at most. Um, and I spend more time thinking about it. Like Hollywood Wives, probably took me probably ooh, 4-ish hours to read. I split that over 2 days. And that book lives rent free in my mind. I can't tell you how much I think about Hollywood Wives, but also a great example is Picnic at Hanging Rock. That book is barely 200 pages, and it's incredible. And I think about it all the time in the theories, and I love it so much. Obviously, Aliens too, but what else? In terms of authors that stay in my mind long after I read them. That is another great example. Especially, it's more the ones that I'm have mixed feelings about than the ones I'm absolutely obsessed with. I hate to say, but Patrick White, he he keeps popping up in my videos, and I don't know why. I don't even know who else. Dickens, I guess. George Eliot, because some of her novels are very dry, but give it to me. I love George Eliot, even her minor books I really adore. I don't know who else, to be honest. Maybe some political books, just because you think about that more often. Or I don't really know, but I definitely think about books way more in terms of time than I actually do reading them. Number five, talking about books. Book clubs, booktube comments, talking with friends, and all that. Do you enjoy discussing books more than reviewing them. I don't review books, but I definitely can chat your ear off about books. And then has talking about books, like doing booktube and all that, changed the way you read? And in certain little things that does really, not really. I think it kind of has when it comes to classics, just because I read so, like, that was literally my most read genre, and now that's literally completely gone. Unless it's like a reading event or something like that, or buddy reading. I just read romance and non-fiction books. I don't know. I'm a bit of a mood reader when it comes to. I know. Look at me being a mood reader. But yeah, it's definitely changed the way, because I like to think of what books can I talk about, or what can I go back to and reread to then talk about. I don't know. I just find that really fun and interesting. And yeah, it kind of has, to be honest. And I haven't really thought about that. But yeah, that's all the questions of the invisible side of reading. Lovely discussion video. So go, if these questions feel fun for you to do, go do this discussion. It's really fun. And yeah. So let me know what you think about my responses in the comments. And thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.